In my business, diving, you get some weird assignments. This one wasn't too bad, though. I was working for a movie producer who was making a show about the sea. My job was to teach the girl star of the picture how to skin dive. She was pretty and pleasant. I was enjoying it. That wasn't why I was swimming around the hull of this ship, however. David McGrath, the producer, was about to set off a charge of explosives below the waterline. I've had a lot of experience with explosives, and I had volunteered to check out the charge. What I found made my hair stand on end, wet as it was. This charge was so big and so placed that it could cause a disaster. I had to get topside in a hurry and stop this before it started. I had no idea of the real tragedy that was about to happen. Most of the picture-making gear was being removed from the ship in anticipation of the explosion. I latched on to Walter Babbitt, the special effects man. His job was to handle the explosives. It was he who had rigged the charge below the waterline. I tried to explain to him how dangerous it was. He agreed with me, but he wasn't about to make any changes. He was only doing a job.
Orders is orders. Maybe you don't understand the setup, Mike.
What I don't understand is why McGrath wants to blow up the whole harbor.
It won't be that bad. See, this ship's been condemned. You see, Mike, this ship is torpedoed while it's tied up the dock unloading supplies. This setup fits the picture perfectly.
It may fit the picture, but it's too dangerous to fool around with.
Well, it's what McGrath ordered.
Where is he, do you know?
The last I saw of him, he was on his way to Charlotte's dressing room.
Her dressing room on board?
Yeah, right down here. You'll probably find him there.
I'll wait and talk to him here. No need of frightening Miss Hanley with all this.
Well, Charlotte, if you're doing that well with the skin diving, how would you like to try a few shots in the tank tomorrow?
I think so.
Good, I'll set it up. Oh, by the way, I've let the whole crew go for the day. All except the camera crew, that is. So if I were you, I'd take advantage of an afternoon off and go home and get a good rest.
Don't think I won't. I'll be out of here in less time than it takes to talk about it.
Good girl. Oh, Charlotte.
Yes?
You're doing fine work in this picture. Keep it up and we'll have a hit in our hands.
Yeah. Thanks, Dave.
See you tomorrow at the studio.
Hi, Mr. McGrath.
Hello, Mike.
You got a moment?
Sure, what's on your mind?
You got too much explosives down there.
Well, I want realism. I need a big explosion.
Oh, boy, that's sure what you're gonna get if you set up those charges. You're gonna blow up your ship, the harbor.
Now, look here, Mike.
Maybe all the windows in the neighborhood.
The amount of explosive being used in that scene is none of your business.
Well, I've had quite a bit of experience with underwater demolition work.
Right now, I have no intention of taking advantage of that experience. Your job is to teach Charlotte Hanley to skin dive, not to tell me how to make my picture.
Well, I'm not trying to tell you how to make your picture. I'm merely giving you the facts, that's all.
Now, look, Mike. I'm going to use any amount of explosive I consider necessary for that shot. Is that understood?
Yes, it is. And you won't be needing me anymore.
Mike! Mike, wait a minute. I want to do the right thing, but I'm in trouble on this picture.
What kind of trouble?
Miff Geiger.
Miff Geiger, the columnist?
Miff Geiger, the columnist. He's the kind of a guy who doesn't care what goes into his typewriter as long as his paycheck comes out of it. Mike, I've got over $1 million invested in this picture, and Geiger's trying to tear it apart.
Why?
Because he's got it in for Charlotte Hanley.
What's he got against her?
I don't know, but he spent 2 years trying to write her out of the business. He's trying to set her up as box office poison.
Well, I don't see how blowing up your ship is going to solve your problem.
Okay. Okay, Mike. If you think the charge is too strong, I'll have Babbitt cut it down.
I do.
Okay. Okay. Babbitt.
Yes, sir.
Are we ready to shoot the explosion?
Yes, the camera boat is waiting.
Oh, Babbitt.
Yes, sir.
Let me think about this a minute. Let me just think.
Excuse me. Is Miss Hanley aboard?
Yeah, I think she is.
Could you tell her that Miff Geiger is here for an interview, please?
No.
Never mind. There's the lovely star of stage, screen, and TV now. Hello, Charlotte. Or is it Miss Hanley now that you're trying to make a comeback after all these years? I just dropped down to pick up a story about your skin diving. Especially as I hear you're planning to use your own skin. You see, I rather suspect that this is a publicity stunt, Charlotte. A last gasp effort to revive a lost cause.
Who is it? You're intruding, Mr. Geiger.
You know, sweetheart, no one runs out on me.
Why don't you leave me alone? You've done enough damage.
I'm sorry, sweetheart, but I came here to get a story. I'm not in the habit of wasting my time.
What I do or I don't do is none of your business.
But it's the public's business, dear. They're interested in every move you make, whether you cross the street or double-cross a friend.
I had dressed and was on my way home. I had taken McGrath at his word. And that had taken a big load off my mind. The explosion was so loud that I knew immediately McGrath hadn't kept his word. I decided I'd better get back there. What I found confirmed my worst fears. Babbitt and his crew explained what had happened. McGrath had ordered the full charge of dynamite exploded. The ship was half sunk, with a jagged hole in her hull. And Charlotte Hanley was believed to be trapped in her dressing room. Emergency crews had closed the aft bulkheads. This would keep the ship afloat until divers could plug the hole and the water could be pumped out. But this would take days. And meantime, the forward part of the ship was flooded.
See, Charlotte's dressing room is right about here. See, the staterooms were being dismantled, and we had to fix a place for Charlotte below deck. The explosion occurred here.
Are you sure she's down there?
Yeah, the studio had a car waiting for her. She told the driver where she'd be.
You tried to get to her?
And we did. The corridor was half full of water up to our waist. We just couldn't get through.
Now, let me see if I can get through that corridor.
My scuba equipment was in the car. There were plenty of willing hands to help me get ready to put my plan into operation. I got into the ship from the deck. Here in the forward section, the corridors were completely flooded, even though the foredeck was still above water. If the water was this high inside the cabin where Charlotte was trapped, I was already too late. But I was praying that some fluke of fate might have prevented that from happening. If her door was closed at the time of the explosion, enough air could still be trapped in the cabin to keep her alive. As I approached Charlotte's cabin, I began to see more and more evidence of the explosion. Now I was near the door, but the wreckage was piled so high that I might never be able to get through. Charlotte Hanley might die, while I stood by helplessly only a few feet away from her, if she hadn't died already. Charlotte Hanley was not alone in a flooded cabin. There was, luckily, an air pocket. Water was slowly seeping in, rising higher around the unconscious movie star and her unwelcome visitor. In the completely submerged corridor outside, I had no way of knowing that anyone but Charlotte was in there. I was working frantically, trying to get through the wreckage to the cabin door.
Charlotte? Charlotte! Charlotte, what happened?
We've got to get out of here.
I can't. The trunk's on my legs.
Well, help me. I'll try to get it off.
Right. Push it up.
I am. Come on, then. We've got to get up. The water's carrying us fast.
I can't. I can't. The trunk must have done something to my legs. They're paralyzed.
Try and help me.
Now it was absolutely impossible to get through the door. The corridor was completely blocked from this direction. I had no alternative but to return to the deck of the ship.
Smith, try to move your legs.
I've tried. It's no use.
Then I'll tell you what we'll do. The water outside evidently hasn't reached the top of the door. We might be able to swim out.
Charlotte, I can't swim.
I can help you. I'll open the door. And when I do, the water will start rushing in. As soon as it reaches the level of the water in the corridor, we'll start out.
Charlotte. Charlotte, you'll never have a better chance to get back on me than right now. Go ahead, leave me here.
Oh, skip the mark a bit. We'll go out together. Looks like we won't go out. The explosion must have jammed the door.
There was one other way to get to Charlotte Hanley's cabin. That was to enter the corridor from the other direction. To do that, I couldn't go from the deck of the ship, but I could go from the surface of the water. Then find the hole blown in the hull, enter the half-sunken vessel through it, and find the corridor. That's what I was trying now. I found the hole without trouble. The explosion had really been a beauty. This was big enough to get through easily. Inside the ship, I encountered no obstacles. I remembered directions from the diagram that I had studied earlier. I headed directly for the corridor.
Wait a minute. I found the trunk. Here, stand on it. Don't struggle. Just relax.
Charlotte,
Yes.
let's face it. We're not going to get out of here, and it's my fault.
We'll get out. They won't let us drown.
Charlotte,
Oh,
it's no use. We've had it.
This was the right cabin. My mission seemed almost accomplished. Then I remembered if there was air inside, opening the door would let the water rush in and drown anyone still alive in there. Sound could tell me whether there was air inside. I reached for my knife. I would tap on the door frame from the bottom up, listening for the change of sound, which would come at water level.
What was
there's
that?
someone out there. Come on. Look out! Try to hold on the door.
The sound told me that there was still air inside. The return knocks told me more. Somebody was alive inside.
I'm too tired. We'll have to go back.
I heard voices. At least 2 people were trapped here. I hadn't expected that. I tried desperately to pry the door open with my knife. It was no good. I needed something heavier, stronger.
I don't hear anything. They must have left.
They couldn't get the door open. They've gone to her for help. They'll be back. They've got to.
I know they'll be back. Were they back in time? Charlotte?
Yes.
I'm sorry for what happened 2 years ago. I was a big man then. I wasn't facing death.
You're not facing it now. They'll come back.
When you walked out of that television show, you left me holding the bag.
But you were going to give away something I had told you in confidence.
Yes, it was. Right then and there, I swore I was going to ruin your career. I almost did. You don't believe in an eye for an eye, do you?
Give me a crowbar. And an extra tank and some masks. There's somebody else down there with her.
She's alive, isn't she?
Yeah. There's an air pocket down there.
Uh-huh.
She's in the air pocket.
I see.
Who do you suppose that is that's there with her?
I don't know, but...
Give me the tank. All right.
It's coming up. It's rising.
They'll be back. You've got to believe they'll be back.
I raced back, loaded down as I was with my rescue equipment. I prayed that the water hadn't yet filled up the cabin. Even the crowbar didn't seem to be doing the job. I pried with all my strength.
How long has it been?
A couple of minutes.
Then, at last, the door gave. The water was above the door. That meant that I hadn't breached the air pocket. They could both be alive in whatever air was left.
Oh, Mike.
I got a tank here. I better put it on him. Will Buddy breathe, huh?
He can't swim. His legs are paralyzed.
Give it to him anyway. I'll swim you out.
I don't know if we can use that.
It's the only way out. No more air pockets left in the corridor. Here. I'll put that all the way in your mouth. That's right, all the way. This is where you're gonna get your air. Inhale and exhale through it. I got a couple of masks here. Here. This is so you can keep the water out of your nose, huh?
How long is it now?
About 4 minutes.
That's right. Now, don't lose that mouthpiece, huh? Don't worry about anything else. I'll get you through all right. You just keep that mouthpiece in your mouth. And you want my mouthpiece? Just grab it, huh? All right, that's good.
Geiger followed instructions. I towed him easily. And the training that I'd given Charlotte paid off. She knew exactly how to handle herself in this emergency. We were out of the hole at last. The surface and safety were only seconds away.
There you are, Charlotte. Oh! Get a blanket, get a blanket. There. Quick, get in there. Quick, hurry up, shake it out.
His legs now, they're broken.
Stalled. We're turning now so we can lay on his back.
My legs.
Watch his legs.
Don't touch his legs.
All right, get that blanket under him.
Charlotte, are you all right? Please tell me you're all right.
I'm all right.
What can I say? I'll never forgive myself for this. Mike, does it mean anything for me to tell you I'm grateful?
Or me.
Yeah, sure it does. I don't know about him, though. He's in a pretty bad way. How you now, fella? How your legs?
Everything considered, not too bad.
Geiger, there's no use telling you I'm sorry. Because I'm not only sorry, I'm ashamed.
McGrath, listen to me. I came down here to get a story, and I got the biggest story of my career. One that'll make you and Charlotte and the picture the hottest thing this season.
You mean the feud is over?
Yeah.
Looks like your piece sure started off with a big bang. Hello there. I'm Lloyd Bridges. Skin diving is fun and adventure for young and old, but it can be dangerous. So know the sport well and don't take any chances. Be with you next week for another exciting sea hunt.